breed mantises, you'll probably need a big neck cage like this, and or smaller maybe. Big species, yeah, maybe they need room. The male needs rooms to run away or whatever. Also, people, I breed them in a small room or whatever. Just let them loose for the male to just leave them alone. Don't I wouldn't breed them in small containers like these. I would never do that. Unless they're maybe communal. No, even there's no mantis that adult female wouldn't eat an adult male. I don't think. I think an adult, pretty much all mantises. I'm not sure about that. So I wouldn't keep them. You need a large area to breed them because the male gets eaten if he can't run away. Females after mating, the female and the male will they disconnect and will go away or whatever. The female might see the male and eat it, go after it. Um, Also, you might want to raise the temperatures when you mating them. It might be better. Don't keep mantises together. The males and adult females and adult males, don't keep them in the same room or keep them far away in another part of the house because the pheromones of the female can desensitize males. I've read. It probably depends on the species. Some species this is probably very important, but no, most species might. I don't think would get desensitized even if you kept them close. I'm not sure. Yeah, I've kept Chinese mantis adult males and Pseudoharpax fluorescens adult males and females and Carolina mantises together, containers beside each other. Where they didn't get desensitized, they would mate fine. The males, even after weeks of being together, I would mate them for those Pseudoharpax fluorescens. I would mate them after just like a week, and then again and again. I would during that period. I would never I would keep them near each other, the containers, so the males didn't get desensitized. Um, but I would keep them separate anyway, if you can, so that if they're also if you're really scared scared that the male will get eaten, you can watch them, and some species will take like 18 hours or longer to disconnect. Some species only a few, and some occasions only a few minutes or less, or 30 minutes or something like that. The male will disconnect, maybe because of stress or whatever. Some species disconnect just generally quicker than the others, just a few hours, I guess. I'm not sure. Yeah, those Gambia spider flower mantises, those Pseudoharpax fluorescens, they would disconnect kind of quickly. Well, I think maybe only a few hours, but I can't remember. You need a stick and maybe some rubber gloves or something that the adult female can't bite through it or hurt you when you intervene when the female's trying to eat the male. Some species are very aggressive, like the soldier mantis species. Females will often try to eat the males, and maybe hierodula species too. Um, so keep a stick, and you kind of need some experience. I can't really explain how to what are good ways to separate them or stop the female from eating the male. Also, you can feed the female when you introduce the male. After you feed the female before you introduce the male, and the female will be occupied eating the food and not eat the male. And also, when they're fatter, the female doesn't. It's less likely to eat the male for some reason. Maybe not as hungry. Um, it's keep the female attention away from the male. You have to do that. The female, a lot of species are very aggressive towards the males, or can be. Um, but once the male has mounted, generally the females are not aggressive. If the female sees the male while the male is near it, the female will look at it and be really aggressive and not try to eat the male. Usually not the female would not try to eat. Usually the Chinese mantis I had would react just aggressive, not going after to eat it like normal prey. And so, but when the male jumps on the female might have a second that it's really aggressive and try to grab it, but then the Chinese mantis, the female will stop. But other species like the soldier mantis might go all the way to eat the male, might have no hesitation to eat the male. So it depends on the species. The Chinese mantis, the females generally don't. It's unusual for the female to eat the male while mating or after mating in a big neck cage like that. I can leave them in there like a day, and the female doesn't eat the male. But in a smaller container, yes, the female Chinese mantis female would eat the male. It's like that size of a container. Yes, I've had that happen. If I keep them in too long, just a few hours after the male disconnects. Yeah, the females don't. When the males jump on, seem to just something clicks in them, and they just don't get aggressive anymore. Uh, they won't try to eat the male. But I've seen some videos of Sphodromantis adult female blue species blue flash trying to eat a male is precarious. And I've also kept that species. They're really aggressive. Some individuals are far more in that type of mantis can be very aggressive, but yeah, it depends on the individual too a lot, not just the species. Yeah, try to keep the female's attention away from the male, but move the female, kind of manipulate, push her face away from the male, so she won't see him, or to the side or whatever, kind of like away from the male over here, and kind of what the female's head over here, going like that. Don't touch the male. If you do that, it'll disturb the male, and just touch the female, make her move around, and but don't touch. That'll scare the male. Touching the male, like put him in one spot and then put the female there and kind of push her around, making her move and blowing on them, or just have some wind in the room will make the male more aggressive at trying to mate with the female, or he will be more confident in whatever. He'll mate quicker and stalk the female quicker. That's what they do. Or actually, some males or some species will immediately try to mate. Some species will not, no matter how long you keep them together. The male's really timid. Also, you need to wait about 2 weeks if you keep them warm for most mantises, maybe 4 weeks for some, or longer, before the female will be ready to mate. Calling, that's when they release pheromones. The females, their abdomens will curl downwards, and so their wings are up here. There's the tip of the wing there. The abdomen will curl downwards. That means they're ready to mate. By it's way too long. They've been ready to mate for a long time. That means adult males generally, I guess generally, or all species mantises, they're ready to mate quicker after they have a shorter period of time from molted to adult, from when they molted to adult to like the short. They can be mated sooner after they molt to adult. Maybe like half 1 week and a half or something for species that it's ready to mate quickly. And if you keep them hot, warm temperatures. Feed them a lot. Feed the females a lot before you try and mate them. Feeding little will the female's more likely to eat the male. When you try attempt to breed them when you leave them in one day and the male hasn't mated, I would not. I would separate them if that's your first try, and then try again and again. Maybe don't try too much. You need patience. Don't. If it's a species that generally takes 2 weeks to be ready to molt after molted to ready to mate after molted to adult, then I would wait like 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks. It won't hurt them to wait. Males will live 3 months or so. I'm not sure. It depends on the species, and if you mate them like 3 times or more, the males will start to they will die earlier. They mated several times in their life. They'll die earlier for some reason. So if you want to keep a male living a long time, don't mate it, or mate it just once or something. Yeah, you need to wait a long time, and if the male shows no interest, then it's probably because the male is not ready. sometimes the female will attack the male after it's mounted if the female is not ready to mate. I've read, I think, yeah. I'm not sure about that.